here's the deal. If you don't have the customers and you're not getting the money you want, you need to make the time for this. Marketing is going to be one of the biggest and most important spends in your business. And imagine if you could take that off of what you're paying for. Welcome back to the podcast. It's time for another quickie because there's always time to fit in inspiration. So lately I have been listening to a bunch of podcasts on probiotics, and something that I was listening to from Dr. Hyman was so interesting because he was talking about how in the past we used to get all of our probiotics easily from food. And I know you've heard this before about the nutrients in our food not necessarily being there because the soils and everything that we have been putting into our soil has been like robbing the food of its nutrients because we spray it and put chemicals and all of these different things. But the thing I never thought about too that he brought up was that we are not eating fermented food anymore because we used to have to can our food, jar our food, figure out a way to make our food last because we didn't have refrigerators and we didn't have these things that we would put into our food to make the shelf life last for a long time. And so we are no longer getting those probiotics from our food necessarily, unless you're eating a lot of yogurt, unless you're eating a lot of sauerkraut or kimchi or all of these other natural things that have probiotics in them. And so many people are struggling with their digestion, with bloat, with not feeling good, with not getting the nutrients that they need. And so this is why you should eat probiotic rich foods. And if you're not eating probiotic rich foods, then something that you can also do is take a stick of Glossy. Now, there's a million different strains of probiotics, and the probiotics that we have in there help with digestion. They also help with immune function, they help with metabolism, but it's a great way to supplement some of your probiotics. So you guys, you can go to getglossy.com and you can use code HAPPY for 25% off. And just take the Glossy 30-day challenge. Like, go take it for 30 days. See if you notice a difference in how you feel. And not just that, you know that we put so many skin-loving nutrients in there that I want to see if your glow factor goes up. So go try it 30 days. Let me know. I want to hear all about it. You guys, today I want to share with you one of my biggest struggles. And that has been not just being consistent on social media, but really trying to learn this beast that we call social media. Because at the end of the day, majority of our problems can be solved in our businesses with more eyeballs on our products, with more audience members, with more people to buy, right? Yes, there is the whole factor of, is your sales page set up? Is your website messaging good? Is your messaging good? Are you clear? Is the product good? But I really believe a lot of you are going to be great at that. A lot of you are creators, right, who listen to this podcast. So that's not going to be the biggest struggle. The biggest struggle is always going to be capturing more audience, capturing more attention. And you can either do this organically through your own social, or going on stages, going on podcast tours, all the things, and making sure that you learn how to capture those people from that. Or you can buy it, right? You can pay for major marketing. You can pay for influencers to do it for you. You can pay for ads. And so it just depends on what route you want to go, because either way, you're going to be paying. You're going to be paying with your dollars, or you're going to be paying with your time of you becoming an expert and figuring out on your own. Now, I will say there is some magic to when the owner or the founder or the person who started the business is also the person who is in the forefront marketing. There's just something that people feel that makes a huge difference in whether or not they buy the product, especially now. We know that this next generation of people really want to see who's behind everything and what their intention is. So today I want to chat with you about ways that I have figured out to stop overthinking social media and starting to allow yourself to get better at it. but not just throwing freaking spaghetti at the wall, because I've tried that. And yes, that is one tactic that helped me actually get consistent, because my friend Lindsay and I decided to do a 30-day challenge at one point. And that challenge that we did together was truly about getting out of our slump of not posting daily. We know the power of posting daily. We know the power of posting even more than daily. And so, with that challenge, we both just said, okay, we can post whatever. We just have to post something with a caption every single day. And we're going to do this for 30 days. And we did. And that was amazing for, just getting it done. It taught us it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't need to look perfect. It taught me what I, thought wouldn't hit sometimes hits. It taught me what I thought would hit doesn't hit. And so that got me into the consistency game. And I am not a very linear person. Like, I'm not a super organized person. I am, like, to the extreme, a creative. And so for me, I really need to come up with different strategies and with different frames and outlines for me to follow in order to feel really good and not feel chaotic and all over the place. And I can get really anxious when I don't have a plan, but I'm not great with creating a plan. So I'm going to share a little bit about how I created a plan that works for me, where I'm just not overthinking it. So you can save this podcast, you can share it with someone that is just not feeling great about their social right now. And a great place to start might be that 30-day consistency challenge of just like learn that it doesn't have to be perfect and it can be totally messy, and you have to let go of, like we also said, if the content doesn't hit, like we're not taking it down. Like you just have to get used to leaving shitty content up and putting it out there. And not that that's the aim, but like you have to try everything and you have to be okay with not being perfect. I'm telling you, some of the posts that have gone viral for me, I'm like, you're kidding me. This is the post that went viral. And here's the thing, you just have to be in the game. You have to swing all of the time, every single day, in order to get those home runs. And the craziest part is they actually start coming more frequently than you would imagine way down the road. So for me, being really consistent and learning content really did take a year, like a solid year of just like, what does this look like? And feeling like my content wasn't that great and constantly going back to the drawing board and refining. I'm doing it again right now. I'm literally refining and figuring it all out right now. And so the first thing that you are going to do is you're going to get yourself some pillars. You're going to get yourself some content pillars. So you don't just want to think of pillars in terms of like, oh, these are things that are easy for me to post, even though that's not a terrible idea because that'll help you post. But you want to think in terms of, do I have an offer right now? Is there something that I am selling? What is my business? What am I going to be sharing with people ultimately? What am I selling? Right? Like you want to create your pillars around that. Now, all of your pillars don't have to be around that, because I do think one of your pillars can always be to show your life. I think people really want to know, what you're into in your personal life. Maybe you're someone who loves to share their dogs. Maybe you have two really cute dogs like I do, Bananas and Bonkers, and they're sheepadoodles, and people love just seeing that inner look into your life. And they have dogs and they relate to you and they follow you because of that, even though they still love, your business. But I don't want people just following me for sheepadoodle content, right? Because when I go to sell an event or a mastermind, they're like, what the hell is this? I'm only here for the sheepadoodles. Look, I get it. Bananas and Bonkers are real, real cute. But, I need to run a business and I really want to have you at the events. So let's talk about content pillars from that perspective. When you are creating your pillars, at the top, I want you to write, what is that offer? Are you selling an e-course on helping people sell a physical product? And so a lot of your content might revolve around, how to do that, adding value on how to do that without having to buy your course. And that's the other thing about social media is you have to look at this as people truly only go on social media to get value for themselves. So if you're putting out posts that have zero value for them, zero, they are not going to be interested, right? If it's not teaching them something, if you're going to show an outfit try to show how it can go together with something else or what the links are or some sort of fashion inspo. Like it can't be something just for you, like a look at me post, right? It's a there you are post. Like I want to show you how to do this. I want to show you how you can do this too. Something that's adding value. That's what social media is. So if you go look on your page, would people get value in the past couple of weeks from what you have posted or not? Would they learn something? Would they get a new idea, a new recipe, new inspo, new links to something that could make their life better? If not, that's probably why people aren't following you and they're not commenting on your stuff. And that's a totally fine realization because now you can come from a place where you can add value. So, back to the pillars, I'm going to give you an example. Some of the pillars that I'm creating for Glowsy right now, I'm putting it into categories every single week. So, one of the pillars is that I'm going to be giving a recipe that is going to help people with their skin and gut. It's either going to help them glow from the inside out or it's going to help them with bloating or digestion or something like that. It's going to be a recipe, to make you feel leaner in a week because you're not retaining water, things like that. So one recipe reel per week. That's going to be a pillar, right? Somehow I'm going to give them a recipe that's going to help them with their gut or skin every single week. Another one is going to be a reel where I teach. I teach something about skin. Did you know that this ingredient is great for X, Y, and Z on your skin? Did you know that you could add this to your water or you can use this particular food and you're going to get, a ton of magnesium or whatever that is? One teaching reel where I'm either to camera talking about the topic or I'm getting some B-roll. Maybe I'm making that recipe, right? And I use one of the clips from the recipe to put over a caption, like just write over it. Did you know? Blankety blank, blank, blank. Or this is why you need magnesium, or whatever that thing is. So a teaching reel. Then I'm going to do one quote on Glossy. So one of the quotes every single week is going to be either a quote, because the big pillars of Glossy, like the things that Glossy is about, the core values of Glossy is also supporting women. It's cheering female entrepreneurs on and showing them that together we can literally do anything and that your dreams are possible. And so one of the quotes on the Glossy page will be something that encompasses that vein, right? In that vein of inspiration in that particular category. And one of the things I'm going to do to make my life easier in the beginning is to, Natalie Ellis is my co-founder in Glossy. We're going to take our most viral quotes that have hit on our page, and we're going to recycle those onto the Glossy page. Why? Because we already have proof that it worked. And when we recycle them, it'll be, let's say it's a quote from Boss Babe, right? So it'll be the quote giving credit to Boss Babe below, and then we'll also put it on like a Glossy template. So maybe the logo Glossy will be on the bottom of that template. And now you can do this in your own way as well. One of the things that I learned from Natalie a while ago was you can go on other people's pages and take their viral posts, right? You can take either a viral reel, you can take a viral quote. And if you love it, what you can do is you can keep that quote, give them credit, tag them, make sure you tag them as well in the caption. And you can write a little bit of a caption of your own take on that particular quote. Now, if it hit on their page and went viral, the chances of it getting a lot of likes on your page are pretty high as well because it was tested, right? It was already tested for you. It doesn't mean it's going to be as high as what they got, but it's probably going to be a lot higher than what you normally get on your page if this truly was viral content. So that's another thing that we're going to be doing. So far, I have one recipe reel a week, one teaching reel a week, one quote per week, and then one static photo. This can be a product shot. This could be a shot of Natalie and I working on something. This could be a BTS behind the scenes. But whatever I'm going to do on that static photo is going to be a learning lesson from that week or a life update or business update with Glossy, something where I can kind of like loop them into an emotion of, have you felt this way before? Or, hey, what people see on the outside is this company that looks like it's, growing in X, Y, and Z, but here's what we're dealing with internally. Have you dealt with this as well? these are all things that are going to make people just feel like, oh my God, she gets it. Like she understands what I'm going through. Then maybe once a week, you have a post that's like, this is my product. This is what I sell. Here's where it came from. Like it's a flat out just sharing what you do, who you are, and what you sell. And that one is not going to add a lot of value, which is why you don't want to do these all the time. But it is more like an awareness campaign of exactly what you do, what you sell. And it's clear, right? So I've given you 5 so far. But what you can also do is double up on some of these. If you're having trouble, if you're like, whoa, that's at my max, but I do want to post every day, maybe you do 3 quotes because that feels like the easiest to you. And just don't think that they have to be perfect. Just sit and think, okay, what would potentially resonate with this person, or find more viral quotes and give credit where credit is due. Tag the people, tell your people to go and follow them. All right. So these are some of the main things that you're going to look at for creating those pillars. And what I want you to realize is that when you go to create this content, because we're going to talk about that in 1 second, when you go to create this content, all you're essentially doing, I'm just going to use my example, is I'm filming 4 recipes per month, right? I'm filming 4 recipe reels per month, which means I need to go and find those recipes, make them, tweak them, maybe look up on Chat GPT, I want a smoothie recipe that has this in it, this in it, this in it. And I want you to share why each ingredient is good for the skin, right? You guys, if you're not using Chat GPT for these things, you're just making your life so much harder. And then for the teaching reel, like, again, what are the things that your people want to learn from you? What are the questions that you're most asked? So then you just do 4 teaching reels. These could be 30 seconds or less. These could be 15 seconds, right? One of the things that went viral on my page is when I did a podcast with Dan Martell, and he has a rule that he calls the 1-3-1 rule. And I said, what is the 1-3-1 rule? And he answered it in 30 seconds or less. It was like, I don't even remember what it is, but it was a great one where when his people come to ask him a question, he makes sure that they exhaust all of their possibilities, and they tell him 3 options that they did or tried, and then the one method that they think would be best. That thing went so crazy. I think it's at like 2 million views, and it was 30 seconds or less. So what is a question or something that you do that could be a small teaching reel? It doesn't have to be profound. A lot of these are not going to go viral. They might fall flat, but there's no way to know unless you learn. And if you would have asked me if that clip would have went viral, I would have never even made it a clip. Like I wouldn't have thought that would be the thing whatsoever. And so that would just be 4 teaching reels per week, and then 4 to 8 quotes per month, right? Some of these you're not even making yourself. You're going on pages and giving credit from the viral quotes that you are obsessed with. And then the product photos, right? Or sharing a static photo of you and then sharing what you do. Like maybe you run events. So it's a photo where you're on stage and you share exactly what you do. And this is majority of your content for the week. And all you have to do is get 4 of those static photos of you sharing exactly what you do per month. So when I categorize it like that and you put it in a Google Doc, right? So that every month you just know, you're like, okay, 4 recipe, 4 teaching, 8 quotes, 4 static photos of exactly what I do. How much easier does that feel? Okay, so we have this in a Google Doc. So next steps that you are going to do, this isn't going to be something that you're going to plan. Like it's September 10th right now that I'm recording this. This isn't something that you're going to go, okay, this is going to be September's content. What I want you to do is start getting ahead. So this is going to be October's content. Just start to do the consistency challenge for the rest of September, if possible. In fact, just do it. This is going to be for October. So the Google Doc is going to say October social, right? October social posts. And then what you're going to start doing is in your calendar for September, you're going to have 1 to 2 days where you block off about 2 hours of just scrolling social for these exact things that you want to be sharing. So maybe you're looking at reels, or you're looking at your favorite accounts and reels that they've done, and you're saving them. And when you find the reels that you want to do for sure, you're going to add them to the Google Doc underneath the reels in the category and say how you're going to make them your own. Because here's where people go wrong. They just save them. They don't really remember why they saved them or what they were going to do with them. And when it comes time for filming, if you don't know exactly what you're filming on filming day, you're only going to get done like one or two things and you're going to feel totally defeated. It's going to be a waste of your whole time. So you're going to start planning out exactly what you're doing, right? If I have a recipe reel and I see a recipe I like that I want to put a glossy spin on, I'm going to save that and go add it to my recipe doc during this time and say, okay, I'm going to make this mint chocolate chip smoothie. I'm going to make this pineapple mango smoothie. I am going to make this spicy margarita, and I'm going to make this glojito. And these are the 4 recipes that I'm doing, which then means I'm going to need to make a grocery list to go and get these because I am going to film my recipes all in one day. And I'm going to film them on this day. So these are the things that you need to start breaking down. Is you're going to take that time to schedule the planning, and you're going to need like 2 days of this. You're going to need 2 to 3 hours on 2 of those days. And then from there, you're going to schedule those days at the end of September to film for your October content. Like I said, do not think that you are going to figure out what you're going to do and film on the same day. This is when you'll keep quitting over and over, because it's like 2 different sides of the brain, right? Like when you're on camera, you just need to know what you're talking about. You need to feel a ton of energy because they're exhausting days. And you need to be really clear. You need to have everything set up. You need to know, like, okay, are the dogs going to bark? Do I need somebody to come and take care of them? Do I have a tripod? Do I need a microphone or not? Like, how do I want to do this? So make it easier for yourself. Map it out, plan the days, put more time in the calendar than you think that you need. Now, some of you are listening to this and you're like, I don't have the time for this. Here's the deal. If you don't have the customers and you're not getting the money you want, you need to make the time for this, because you're going to either have to work more hours to pay more people to get more eyeballs in the marketing and Facebook ads, or you can just take this on yourself if you think that you could be good at it. If you're like, no, I'm terrible, I will never do this, like it's not in my soul, then maybe don't. But if you think you could get better, because I do think everyone can learn, like there's not a day that goes by that I'm like, oh, I would have never guessed this person would be going viral this frequently. And it's just because they're nailing their content. They're getting it. They understand their flow. They've set the same thing up for themselves. Like people you would just not expect, right, to be going viral for different things are, because they have this. They're allowing themselves to get better. They've given themselves a content strategy. They've given themselves a year or 2 years to get really good at it. Because you guys, at the end of the day, marketing is going to be one of your biggest spends in your business. Marketing is going to be one of the biggest and most important spends in your business. And imagine if you could take that off of what you're paying for. Imagine if you knew that if you just really nailed this and got it, you could take a big chunk off of what you're paying in your business. That would be game changing, because you'd be the person attracting all of the eyeballs, right? And so, of course, you're going to have to look into things in the back end of how you're running your business and your schedule and say, who do I need to hire? What do I need to delegate in order for me to get these 4 to 5 extra days per month of pure research and creativity for social media every single month? Now, if you look at getting 5 extra days per month of just like 4 hours a day, that might feel challenging, but I didn't know where I was going to get those days from this last month. And I did them on the weekend. Did I want to give up a weekend? No, I did not want to give up a weekend, especially when I feel exhausted and I'm tired and my business is really stretching me right now. And it feels really hard. But it feels hard because I don't have all of the customer eyeballs I want. So I'm like, dang it. Okay, this is what I know I need to do. I'm just resisting it, right? So I'm really determined to get better at content. I'm determined to create more time. I hope that this helps you. I hope that this makes you feel a lot more clear. I hope that you go for it. If you're someone who knows that they're creative and feels like this could be something that you could do for your business, I really, really hope that this is helpful. So you guys, I am sending you so much love. Let me know if you're going to do any of this, the 30-day challenge. Let me know if this helped you, and share this with a friend. Send this to someone that you know is struggling in their business with getting more attention, getting more eyeballs. And I would be so grateful for that. So you guys, until next time, earn your happy. Bye, everyone. Okay, so you guys know that I am a podcast junkie. It's how I changed my life in the beginning, especially when you don't have cash. So, how would you like to learn from the number one sales funnel expert on the planet? Now you have a chance to. Without his usual $25,000 price tag included. You guys, meet Russell Brunson. He's the New York Times bestselling author of 3 books and a serial entrepreneur in a class of his own. Russell's in the trenches every single day, creating multi-million-dollar offers, running a 9-figure company, and growing a mass movement of entrepreneurs who are changing the world. As the co-founder of the 9-figure funnel building software behemoth, ClickFunnels, I'm sure you heard of it, he gets a behind the scenes look at over 150,000 entrepreneurs' sales funnels to see what's getting people to whip out their wallets across every market you could imagine in real time. And on his podcast, Marketing Secrets, he not only shares the tactics, strategies, and formulas he's using to grow multiple 7-figure plus companies, he also sits face to face with other high level entrepreneurs ready to spill their secrets of success too. All so you can profit from their insider tips on driving traffic, boosting conversions, and telling your story in a way that changes the world while building you a massive business. So, what are you waiting for? Stop what you're doing right now. Go subscribe to the Marketing Secrets Show. Trust me, Russell's energy, expertise, battle tested strategies, and world class guests will keep you coming back week after week. Get ready to transform your marketing game and unlock the secrets to building a wildly successful online business. Subscribe to Marketing Secrets now.